recently. 9 out of 10 victories to their favour. Case let it slide in anyway. Let's see whether their Challenger League record can start to show to the fold on Ancient, the first of our best of ones.
Well, I'm looking at MIBR, Jay, and I'm thinking if they've got 4 wins in a row here in the regular season, why don't they make it 5 out on Ancient? MIBR have shown a lot of depth in their last couple of officials, and this is now another one to show exactly that.
Well, Julie set in on Drop's part. USP's pulled out against the Glock's standard utility on Yeps and Co. Case facing and immediately is exiting. He is going to get cut down initially by RCF. Fast out of the gate for the likes of the Case side. MIBR playing passive on the defense, looking at P250 to get involved, or the P2K rather, to get involved and try and get some tags up for the kills. Not quite happening just yet.
Now, this is for Case where they need to try and disrupt some of the map control that can get taken out here from Big Box. Urban's going to get overwhelmed.
Trying to show if he can tap up some decent heads here. Riccioli getting a couple of kills of his own. The Glock's fired down to 2 players on the CT bases. Could see some backstabs closing in soon enough, and it might not matter. The main T-side defensive holds its nerve, and there's nothing left for safe in this. 1-on-3, he picks up that first headshot, but surely should get no more than this. He is making a fair amount of noise, charging in to face down 2, getting only damage against the 2. And a pistol win for Case.
Unfortunately for Exit, he goes aggressive into A main to make that info play, to take that first contact. And while he spots what's going on, he's not able to disrupt just 1 kill, to maybe go 1-for-1, to allow a 4v4 when the rotations can come back over. And out there from Big Box. Now, while Urban didn't get a huge amount of damage, he actually really set up that crossfire from Donut and for A main to do the majority.
Good start in for the Case camp.
A lot of smokes being lined up there from B.
Leave him down that little brick stack. Concealed away, can get picked up by MIBR in time to the defensive. Instead, it's out towards that A bomb site again. The attack comes in real quick. Brenton good for the Deagle shot back onto Snow. Riccioli trades back his low HP. The 5-7 is safe, should get overwhelmed anyway. His Case make a couple of casualties here and there, but should be able to hold their nerve. See if Drop can get that 3rd pick of the round.
Yeah, this was a round with a lot of pace for Case, and unfortunately for MIBR, it's another one of those situations where they stack up quite heavy on B. They have a lot of those smokes out from short to keep re-smoking ramp, to maybe slow the round down if there is a B lane. And the A players get away with a decent amount of damage. I mean, out from default, it looked as if a multi-kill was going to happen, but not to be. And Case run into the more open bomb site and give themselves a 2-0 start, and should be 3-0 now with the eco.
Yeah, harsh investment there for MIBR, so not really much that they should gain outside of upgrade pistols. You're seeing the Deagle back in on the Sani and Drop with the Julies once again. And PT50 brought by Exit, and another Deagle also for Brenton as well, who did have a decent defensive attempt on that A-bomb site. And see whether he can find any more out on the B side of things. It's Insanity, the forward face out towards mid, which is where Case are leaning into first.
Now, any picks in a round like this for MIBR are going to be impactful very fast. We are seeing a lot of acceleration from Case.
Footsteps being heard by the likes of Exit. His P2 charges into main, but eventually gets adjusted upon by RCF. Plant should get secured soon enough by the man. His teammates just trying to wear down the CT forces as Snow is AK involved out towards spawn. Sani and Drop, very different positions, just looking for any exits. It doesn't seem like many should be coming their way, at least not realistically here. Case find themselves up against the Rifles in the next round because MIBR will have conceded the 3-0 start.
And while we can make the notation that Ancient's very successful for MIBR, you did make the point earlier on, Jay, in the pre-show, where there's a lot of officials being grinded for Case on Ancient. I mean, 19 maps played in the last 3 months puts it towards the higher end of that map pool. They play a lot of Mirage, they play a lot of Nuke, Ancient's in there, Inferno too. It's only Anubis and probably Overpass and Vertigo that they don't play a lot of. MIBR will look to try and get the Rifles out, and Safe can invest into the AWP.
Yeah, big green out for him very early. First gun round of the night here on the English stream. M4s across the other players at the CT basis. Case, even those 2 Galils, of course, no need to really invest into this round for them. They had all the weapons stay in. See whether Yeps and RCF can just apply themselves as appropriate, get as much impact out of those Rifles, as much value out of those Rifles as they can do. The AWP is safe, is hunting for that opening frag back in mid. Case have been heavy-handed towards that position. It's the nades over towards lane that will get more damage early here. Can drop, get a kill. You hear the tags of the flames behind the smoke. In fact, his spray up pretty nicely onto Riccioli.
Safe is still very aggressive out from Donut and might be able to catch a timing from Shelf, just a slight jiggle or even a walk forward. Case have brought a lot of pace in the last couple of rounds, but this time it slows down. Safe actually does miss a shot and gets baited, and it allows the trade easily.
Nicely done from Urban to act off of Snow's information. The missed AWP shot costing them dearly there on the CT basis. Advantage has been negated. The shadow has been seen. Snow trying to see if he can bait in Exit, but Exit is too smart to hold against it. He's unfortunately unaware of the likes of RCF, and Sandy's going to have to trade him back. Flashes are sent into his position, so we can't aggressively further. Count flashes to the CT side to allow a quick peek in. Yeps is tagged solo, eventually dropped by Drop, who looks in for the second of Urban, but instead it's down to Brenzin. 1-on-1. Plant tapped once. Urban thinks he's coming in for mid. He thinks completely wrong as Brenzin keeps the first round of MIBR.
Yeah, that round was probably a lot closer than it should have been. The opening man advantage with a lot of spam coming out there from Cheetah with the incendiary damage that came in to assist the kill. Safe would have liked to have just got one there and escape back into Donut. In the end, the trades are pretty back and forth, and Case, look, they can be happy with the damage that got done. Bomb plant, 4 casualties to drop for MIBR. If they're able to come through successfully in round 5, we could potentially be looking at a 5-1 scoreline.
That's how you want to try and beat MIBR. We saw how streak-heavy things were getting yesterday against Odik. SMG set of a weak in defensive, fast play out from Case, recognizing the danger that the CT players are in. You can even see Exit not looking to press on from Donut. Will blind spray with his SMG. Teammates going to have to back him up eventually for the retake because the site has been lost.
Break that smoke and try and add more pressure onto the site itself. Safe is down very low, getting close to denying that bomb, not quite close enough.
Riccioli tagged to half, Safe tagged even lower than that though. Meanwhile, there could be a mid-walk from one man. Yeps is not going to opt to stick around there. He'll be heard making his way back out. Nades, again, against the smokes, will try and drive vision. They have seen Urban at least. Safe has eventually caught Riccioli. So that bomb has been dropped. Swing out from Urban, though, gets him right back and looks for his teammates on the other entryway to the A bomb site. They're destroying the time here. MIBR finally forced forward. The smoke's clearing up permanently. Exit with a kill. Brenzin caught back, and RCF pushes in the right moment. Drop should get caught in the back lines. Exits SMG. Has to face up against 2 clutches. Aware of RCF. Checking position. He just barely didn't see Snow. That plant will look to get secured. The retake on with no kit.
So difficult at this kind of range for the MP9, and Snow's got a flash, actually backs off, both of them playing together in CT.
Range game with the SMG, does make his way ahead of it. Snow does get caught, completely blinded, but still able to win the fight as he makes up ground physically to Exit. 4-1 start for Case, and MIBR are back to basics.
Well, it's quite obvious to say in that last round that if MIBR had rifles over SMGs, they win that round 100%. They did a really good job of time stalling and making it awkward for the bomb to go down. For Case, they just had to basically give respect. They just had to wait for the smokes to clear up there in Donut. The aggressive play in from Temple, that backstab was necessary to be able to win that entire round.
Once again, upgrades are all you can afford here for MIBR. Again, trying to press mid and catch players off guard. Flash this time relatively well, but they don't catch Snow. Sprays through. You got Riccioli that does fall back to the firing squad in the end. 1 rifle that has been dropped on top of Shelf. Snow. Jump face to catch information against him. No more further utility to do the damage. They can put the smoke down and try to recover that rifle. Meanwhile, the bomb's going to get planted here, though. So, best they can look to do is grab the gun and get out of there.
I haven't seen many B lanes over the majority of the last couple of rounds. We've seen a couple of defaults worked in from lane, but it's always been the A end. The drop, unfortunately, tries to get up there from Shelf to just recover that 1 rifle from Riccioli, and he gets close to doing so. At least Brenzin can now be in a position to recover it.
Just get out of there and save it, and have Safe there to cut rotations and provide distractions, just stall for time with that AK. We should still be safe anyway.
If MIBR, they'll be disappointed by this scoreline. This is a slow start from them.
Very slow indeed. Solid start instead from Case, who are storming ahead on the T side at basis. MIBR didn't get to see much of their CT side on Ancient yesterday because it was so far gone at the turn of the half. Now switching over to that half to start off this map up. It's really been a simple case for the lead in the first quarter, looking good. MIBR another chance to respond here in round 7. The AWP is out for safe, and the M4s take center stage once again in mid-swing for Insanity. Does not see anything ahead of that smoke. Default set aggressive.
Snow going to try and work out from elbow, but Safe has been able to find one connection from A main, and now they compete together from shelf and down from mid, and it gets ripped apart completely. Great timing for Snow to be able to get that first kill, but the crossfire, it draws them into the bait, doesn't it? Because as soon as you get that first kill into elbow, you think that you can exploit mid. You feel as if you've got the space and the timing to keep working more, and what you're not ready for is the duo swing that comes from shelf and bottom mid.
And that's the kind of round to be fearful of from MIBR. That is a complete momentum swing towards their favor in terms of just the confidence basis. The money may start to follow it as well in round number 8. Case forced to use all of their savings. And look at the firepower on MIBR. 3 AKs to play with, one of which is centered up in mid.
Yeah, Safe started the AWP as an A anchor in the last round, and he's going to do the same here in round 8. Drop trying to fight aggressively, peek behind his own incendiary. Urban going to try timing out on ramp.
Spots one, gets out of the way, swung upon by the M4. Urban punishes it. Drop yet to reveal himself, and Urban's hoping that he does. Bomb is on his teammate right behind him. Drop is ready for the forward face. Mid is kind of being watched, but carefully considered by the likes of Exit. Flashing him in to check that position. Urban does think smarter of going overly aggressive, especially with the smoke in the way.
And for Case, they have actually got themselves in a pretty good position. They've got a player aggressive out to A main. They've got Snow out from elbow, a couple of players on B, so they can just work a bit of fakes, try and draw some over rotations, and allow the lurks to find impact.
Smoke on short and long, going to suppress the backline entryways. Drop is still there close towards the bomb site, but might get exposed towards the players in mid. The plant should get secured by Riccioli. Generally a pretty nice position, but there is a backstab coming in from Yeps that they're unaware of here for MIBR. They're going to storm this bomb site quick. They reduce it to a 4 versus 4, but Urban is still close, and RCF is continuing to close in the pincers in the backline of that AWP. They haven't seen the player at ramp. Brenzin going to try and get on the bomb itself, looking to try and tap it, trying to force out a kill as Urban does get caught. Their main point of defensive has fallen apart. The Molotov's coming in a little bit too late. The swing back, they do get Brenzin, and Safe drops. Yeps' backstab closed in the right moment, and Exits all alone versus 3, surrounded by all. Case hit minimum 6.
And that molly that went down onto the bomb wasn't enough. There was actually some spam bullets that came out from ramp to help assist into that kill. And for Case, look, it's one of those rounds where they've actually got a lot of backstabbing players trying to cut rotations. You had to walk out on A, you had to walk in from mid, and while they're actually not cutting of the rotations, that one molly, that one piece of util late in the post plant was a difference maker to closing it down for them.
So well done. MIBR facing serious struggles in the early portions of this matchup. Force to the good. Urban's immediately caught drop on that face. Brenzin should get overwhelmed the same. And Stanley's got Snow elsewhere. But it's one trade back for many taken by Case. Advantage. B-site opened up. Extension from Safe's AWP might catch Yeps off guard as he's caught looking the wrong way here, but he knows there's a press. He's going to be ready to try and deal with it. No, Safe didn't see his man. Insanity and Exit call next on the bomb site. The AWP's got nothing left.
And this is quite the statement that's coming through from Case. They're putting in a very good showing on T side. They're being consistent. They're putting up a lot of impact. They're constantly making MIBR have these awkward buys where we're seeing MP9s, we're seeing FAMASas, we're not getting the strong M4s out consistently for them. 7-2, I want to say in a best of 1, on T side especially, is probably a scoreline where you've closed the game already. Now, I know obviously there's a comeback potential, and if MIBR can at least find a little bit of success towards the tail end of the half, you could sit here and say we might have a game. From their perspective, they'll think this is already done.
Well, half advantage has been gained. They can't hunt for the AWP here on K, so there's at least that much that MIBR can get away with. Money continues to look rough for them. They need a pretty significant momentum swing and streak, and well, that just hasn't really happened here. Even when you thought it might have happened, Tactical taken by the favorites because, well, right now they need it.
This is just a wake-up call for MIBR. Again, they're one of these teams where, because you have to have the forfeit losses already, and you're going into this game against a team that's 3-7, you need to go 2-0 tonight. You need to be making sure that you win both of these best-of-ones, because one loss to an underdog team and one loss to an upsetting team could be the difference of you making upper bracket or lower bracket in the playoffs. So this is the kind of game where from 2-7 down, it has to be recovered for MIBR.
Now, those forfeits might be against those stronger teams in the league, but that means you haven't really got any excuses for conceding to the lesser ones. Half-bought pistols around the AWP for round 10, looking to buy around 11 and 12. That gives a best-case scenario of an 8-4 half. Favor case. MIBR have to catch these guys off guard in some capacity. Drops Julie's about to get Molotov out of position. Does get a smoke down from Brenzin, whose Deagle fires back. HEs are put in the way, and just to continue to chip away at the HP bars. Owen takes some damage in return, so it stands at evens on the bars.
Case have faked mid that they're going aggressive into a CT wrap. They smoked off Donut and they smoked off that deep CT position, but there's actually a lot of players still in lane. A resmoke comes down to waste some more time, but unfortunately, it seems more of a gamble stack is being lined up to A right now.
The smokes come down, the last player rotates away. The timing going to be better for Case. Deagle, Julie, another Deagle going to try and join the fray of the defensive, but they can get away with a pick back against Case. At least there might be a positive for them. The best they can really hope for in this round, even though it shouldn't make much of a difference. Plant will still be secured. Round will still look to go their way. The AWP, if safe, is best is to hold on to itself and save once again. What a T-side this has been. MIBR given no real workability here. They will try for the retake.
Snow separated with a crossfire. The AWP does come through with one.
Signals the quick send in. RCF and Yep deal with them as appropriate. AWP might even get caught off guard. Bailed out by Brenzin, but both players are going to line up for Snow. Double upheld. Ricky only takes the last. The AWP does not stay in for the CT side. They can still buy it back. Case going to hit 8 though. They are continuing to storm ahead with only 2 more rounds in the half.
And we know that the favorite teams are obviously going to show more depth and more strength in the best of threes in the playoffs than what they will in the regular season. And that does, from time to time, allow a couple of upsets, allow some surprising victories. And for Case, they've just caught them on a bit of a poor day. Haven't seen a lot of decent firepower for MIBR. Some of the standout individuals aren't multi-fragging and putting up numbers to what we should be expecting from them. 8-2 on the T side. If they can just go a couple more rounds and find that success, it's going to make that second half so uncomfortable for MIBR. Good nade damage done to Case here. Brendan's going to try and look for the sprays through against the T side line. But it's just Snow tagged outside of main. Urban. Take use against his position down to 55 HP for the time being, yet to face against Brendan. It gets very silent. The double play in from Cheetah was being exposed for a moment. Safe. If he widens up the angle and looks further down from ramp, he could just get caught off guard by the boost.
You can see him edging his way to that long position.
Just giving himself an off angle at the moment.
Does fire away premature to the utility posted out in mid. Urban. Brendan's going to evade his Molotov, put the smoke down as soon as it gets a chance to do so. And Nade lands right at his feet, though, so some damage starting to return from Case. They need to return execution, though. 40 seconds to do so.
This in Molly has actually forced a couple of players into cave, but it should be an A maneuver. Now, time is fairly low, and you've got a strong-looking crossfire. Exit has a full belt of util that he can drop to A main and slow down the clock.
Reads the flashbang coming, puts that fire in position. They will smoke it off and nade their way open into position. Insanity caught with a kill. Exeter's get one of his own. Urban also drops RCF through the smoke. His orb can land onto the first man. Unawares of the second. Exit still escapes with 2 kills and 8 seconds left for the orb. Bombs on his back and no time on the clock. Got to hold on to the big green. Gonna try and face him and get another pick back. Loses his life, and I believe he lost it just after time.
Yeah, fundamentally, that was a poor round for Case. I've been quite impressed with their T side. The issue with that last round, Jay, is that there was no press, or at least, I suppose, a tangent to A for the majority of that round. If there was maybe a lurk in A main or pressure building in from mid, it's going to draw utility. Because there was just nothing. It was all elbow and it was all out there from lane. There was no reason the Exit needed to drop the incendiary, drop the smoke. So 30 seconds on the clock, and you're trying to A-split with a full U-tilt belt, the round's just over from that point onwards.
Yeah, good as done. And all the damage that MIBR have done up until this point will finally compound at the very end of the half. 2 players without rifles, one of the few rifles taken out by Safe's AWP. RCF is trying to clap back against Brenzin, but suppressed by the incendiaries. The flash is keeping them at bay. Swing forward on dropping his own flash. RCF does catch him off guard, getting a little bit too overly aggressive, but Insanity ready to take Riccioli down, gets the man advantage back.
AWP, close range, but teammates around him. As soon as Safe takes contact, that's where Brenzin can also swing.
Holding face for now, 60 seconds on the clock, and there's no one to directly engage the ramp entrance. There will be a player outside of the cave entrance who won't get smoked off yet. RCF, smoke on long, smoke on short. Molly comes out to the back lines of the bomb site, actually lands in the midst of that smoke, so doesn't even have any impact. Safe for the kill on Urban. RCF does look to push forward of that smoke. Damage done to Yeps though. Insanity. Footsteps might have been heard. Going to push the issue. Gets the kill on Yeps. Where is the last of RCF? The AWP reveals himself. And now surely should have nothing left on this. Molotov trying to come down to the bomb plant position. It just bounces off the wall, goes into the smoke. Eventually he gets taken back for the 4th round of MIBR. They still trail at the turn of the half as we head to the break. Must be a complete contrast for MIBR to be down by this margin compared to yesterday. 4 rounds to make up on the T side of things. As we get into this pistol round very quickly, a rush up from Save as he tries to overwhelm his B defensive. Flashes are sent, the Julies are caught more blind than the T side players. Riccioli does strike an Insanity first though, drops that bomb. RCF gets Brendan also through the smoke. The plant can at least be secured here, but they're down by 2.
And they need to cut off this rotation from the top of shelf, but these spam kills have just opened up so much in the round for Case to get this retake in the 5v3.
Safe is so waiting for Yeps around this corner here, thinking there might be a backstab in play, and he's right to assume so, but when does it strike, and will he be ready for it when it does drop? Holds his nerve, his own spam kills try and come out. They do tons of damage to Riccioli. Drop with a kill back on the first. Not quite ready for the close quarters combat and exit. So far away. The Molotov he tried to put up over the door of a B. It's missed out entirely. The firing squad faces. They take him down and Case win the pistol round.
I actually think that if that molly goes in, they win that round. There's no smoke and there's no kit there for Case. With the HP bars being low and the time stalling that would have came through, if that molly lands, yeah, that's it. That round actually goes the way of MIBR.
But it didn't. And such a key mistake and such a key moment when you need to start making up ground here, MIBR. 5 down against Case, who will be facing the fury of the force buy. Bomb plant was secured, so you can't afford Galils and an AK. But need to turn it into a win. Need to clap back, and maybe Drop has found that win.
They use that lurk smoke to walk up and get all the way out to the woodside corner. Now, Case know that this could happen. That just because of their setup on B, there is potential that there's a walk forward. It just depends on whether they can deal with Drop, who's in a very good position.
Flashbang catches him. Swing now knows exactly what's going on and how far he is in the bomb site. They're going to tap their way forward, but Drop gets at least 1 kill on the way out of the round. AK is lost to the T side, though.
A good effort from Drop, but unfortunately, you probably need 2 in this scenario. Mac-10 actually just catches off the in-game leader. They don't bounce off of the back of it. They actually cancel.
Urban hoping or being led to believe that it's just a lurk play from 2 individuals. One that pushed, one that played back up. Mac-10 does recover the situation because that was looking very dicey for MIBR for a moment.
Well, for Urban, he has to have 2 avenues here, Jay. Either get a multi-frag and keep the man advantage, or play defensive and give him the bomb site and retake heavy. He cannot afford to go down in a 1-for-1.
Just does damage. The safe swing back for Insanity does lose himself, and that is that 1-for-1 secured. Favored at MIBR still. Man advantage for the plant. And retake has no kit.
This is uncomfortable. This is a very difficult retake to work. To not even have a smoke to smoke off cave, I don't know if this retake is actually going to be possible.
Yep, so decided it isn't. He prodded initially to hope for someone to be standing in the open for a free kill to go his way, but that's wishful thinking here.
It's certainly a lifeline now for MIBR. You've been able to win the force buy round. You now put Case on the anti-force buy. The unfortunate nature is that while you win the round and their economy is obviously going to be double eco, it's still 2 M4s being saved. So that's a decent amount of investment that can be brought forward for Case.
When you consider that double eco status indicates a force buy around the 2 weapons, it can still convert back in another force for force.
It definitely can be. I would say for Snow and Yeps, they'll probably be in positions to be on the front foot looking for opening exchanges. We know that they're kind of the mid and A players, so maybe one of them goes out to B to fake where one of the M4s are going to be.
With the fact that they saved those M4s, it also provides opportunities for drops, and specifically the SMG for RCF. MIBR. Nades against them, swing of Snow, does find Insanity, indeed hunting for that opening pick, gets it, the nade again for Drop! Oh, that's the 2nd piece of missed utility that sets MIBR on a significant back foot.
This aggressive play in A main from Yeps could actually discourage quite a lot in the round. It could first off be information that it should be a B lane, and second, if he catches a good timing onto Drop, that's the 5-on-3.
Smokes down for Urban, trying to keep him suppressed still at Cheetah, but Push forward actually from Yeps. Could get caught off guard by the player outside of Elbow. Indeed, drop does get him. So back to a 4-on-4. Another man disadvantage recovered by MIBR, but RCF wants it back. Press into the SMG. Get the first. Even nearly get the second. Down to just under over half HP for Brenzin. 3-on-3.
Look, Case have lost all the advantages in the world. It's a lack of info. They haven't spotted the bomb. There's still quite a lot of time left on the clock. And they are not shifting the rotations. They are still keeping this very heavy as the B gamble.
A little over 30 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to hit B here. Smokes down to long and short. Molotov sent into the cave entrance and default plant positions. Exits MAC-10's yet to strike, but they've got to be wary of that player at Woods. Snow's not seen. And the Deagle strikes against one. Snow can follow suit. Exit can only get one back in case counter steal.
And we were kind of talking about it, the idea with a couple of M4s being safe, that you can go back and win back-to-back force buys in each other's approaches. For Case, it's a gamble stack. It's a 3v3 where if it goes mid or it goes into an A-split, it is just an instant save. But for MIBR, they run into the trap. They actually give themselves a pretty good-looking buy on the force back. AK's in the hands of Drop and Exit. Everybody else, those down to pistols.
Difficult stance for MIBR to work with and only a few rounds away from Case winning it all. Massive stuff from them. Punishing the mistakes of MIBR and just taking map control whole hog here.
MIBR are quite happy with that. They don't have a lot of utility, so it's difficult to contest map control in the early and mid portions of the round. So let Case burn it out, let them take lane, take mid. But it means these flashes and the timings of the peak out from the door have to be on point.
We'll start to look for map control. Mollies and smoke sent. Counteract utility is right there. Tech 9 of Brendan does take one, but Riccioli so fast to return fire, continuing to hold the ramp progression. They get that AK back on safe at least. And meanwhile, Insani challenging Urban down to 5 points of health outside of Elbow. Might be low HP, but still a man advantage for Case.
A drop has got to work in and around this util, but with the time where it is, they have to end B. And this looks really positive for Case with 3 on B right now.
30 seconds left. Riccioli taking a fight that is going to force him back. Drop trying to press the issue, trying to check the aggressive angles that the C teams might hold. Deep smoke out towards long. Working forward, hearing one player rotate away. Blinds raise, catching drop for damage. 12 seconds, need to prioritize that plant. RCF got to prioritize denying it here. Flashbang sent, drop with 2. And it looks like they do secure that plant in the end. Yep, send RCF for the retake. Now just RCF.
How is this falling apart? I actually don't know. This should have been the round simply for Case.
And instead, they are picked away by MIBR, who did let them get away with no rifles this time. Back down the first stage, a loss bonus. Another lifeline granted by our favorites on the T side.
And this is actually really concerning for Case's victory note, because I'm looking at that first half, 8-4, winning pistol, 9-4, and thinking, yeah, you should close it quite easily. Now I'm looking at this force buy, which seriously has limitations, no rifles like we've seen previously. And for MIBR, this could be them at an 8-10 deficit. That's a really good recovery of a scoreline.
No doubt about it. Pistols facing him with Snow. First and foremost, catching Exit. Brendan's going to have to try and force back. He does hold control of the situation. Got a little bit leery at the first, but he does get his quadra in the end. And that force buy does absolutely nothing for Case's case.
Yeah, that is a lovely round to come through from Brendan, who is being pressured from the top of Cheetah and out there from ramp. And yes, I know it's only upgraded pistols, but that's still a lot of pressure being applied, and he gets away with pretty much everything. MIBR. To me, they've allowed themselves to come back into this game, and that's where pressure starts building for Case. That's where pressure starts building for Riccioli as the in-game leader, for RCF as the AWPer, to be in a position where we were all over them. We made it really uncomfortable for the favorites, and now there's only a few rounds in it.
There should be a deficit of 2 when you consider in this harsher eco basis of Case, and they will be stacking their way into that B bomb site once again, this time with a push forward play. Brenzin's going to have to be ready for that. Outside of the B doors, teammates working in from mid. AK does get away with 2 kills, but does get overwhelmed in the NX. It's going to try and make sure that that AK does not stay in with the CT hand. Alongside Insani, they do connect that number 8, and Case will have to connect to buy.
And for Case, I want to see a decent amount of threat being applied in this round. That's trying to challenge for map control. That's not giving the respect forward to MIBR. 2 rounds the difference. No money to get that AWP forward in the CT line. And for Case, they just want to close this game out. Deeper smoke down to the doors for RCF. They're bringing only 2 players into B, though.
Lashes over towards the A-bomb site. Fast execution. He seems smokes down towards CT entrance and Donut. RCF gets a kill and a half against Brenzin. Molotovs from his position. His drop gets his kill back. Snow and RCF get a couple of kills of their own to try and return the man advantage. Safe reduces the man advantage by 1. Riccioli, however, looking for the bomb carrier. Safe looking for a way out of this dire situation with no further backup and no further escape. It's 11 on the board of Case.
It's a pace change to come in for MIBR. It's been back and forth with the force buys. They go into what is the first gun round of the second half, and they just try and send it. They get the quick smoke in from CT and from Donut. Unfortunately, the entry fraggers struggle. They can't quite open up that bomb side. There's a lot of back and forth trading. Players are coming in quickly on rotation from B. And for Case, that is a successful round for them.
That it is. Edging closer and closer to the map win. 2 rounds to get there. 1, of course, will have to set MIBR on the comeback to overtime, and with the buy state being where it is, with the loss bonus now being worn down, it gets very difficult out of it. Good efforts from Snow to start things off, but Brenzin's the man with the kill.
They get the molly forward out from Cheetah. Oh, just for a moment, Urban tries to get aggressive, even with that flash from his teammates from mid. RCF, though, this could be juicy. Could this be the multi? The timing? Oh, they line up. Insani's desperate for the trade, but it doesn't come in.
Eventually, the man advantage tips the way of Case, and still with Brenzin being down on 6 points of health. You've got Urban and Riccioli in Cave and in Cheetah. One's going to break away and start watching the B bomb site. Brenzin up close to try and play the entry at this high HP, and he's did a perfect headshot. That's exactly what he does.
Oh, just seeing the edge and knows that Urban's out there from Cheetah. This is workable. This is very doable. Exit's got another smoke to hold it on to deep, to get that smoke out deep from CT, and that's going to waste a lot of time on the rotation from Yeps. Put more emphasis on the player out from Cave, and even RCF, rather than going up from Shelf, is going to come through T-spawn to the doors.
Well, Flash will check out lane. I don't know if Safe saw it. Either way, Case will let half the time a tick away. What a shot that was from Safe. Smokes come down, Exit reads Urban like a book. Yeps brings it back to a clutch situation, but 18 points of health. Not a lot of time left. Safe knows he's won the round as MIBR cling on for dear life.
Now, I've noticed, Jay, 2 T rounds in this second half for MIBR where they should legitimately just not be winning the round, and they've been able to do it. If I'm RCF, I am fuming. I'm aggressive A-main, I've got a multi-frag, I've stayed alive. What's happened elsewhere? You mentioned Brenzin, how he wins that duel on 6 points of health. Crosshair placement was immaculate. But I don't know, man. That just... it shouldn't be happening. That round should not be recoverable.
Second tactical called in by MIBR once again. Two to make up against Case, with only that AK staying in for Yeps. Got to consider the idea of the half buy here, because money would stack up into a buy in the next.
It's feeling like a bit of an overtime game for me. 2 rounds the difference. Case needing at least 1 more to at least secure that much. MIBR, they've worked this second half to perfection. They've worked really good at this round straight now.
Brendan's really started to add to his tally. He was a little bit underwhelming in the first half. Now top fragger of the board of the T side. Even at 6 points of health, what he did in that previous round. Yeps. Now try and be the solo player to find impact for Case. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't know he's running into the trap set by Drop. Sprung by him outside of main. Only gun to fall, unrecoverable by the CT side, so the only chance the Case had to contest this round has been negated.
And they can attempt the gamble stack. They can attempt maybe 1 or 2 crossfires, getting a pick or 2. But for MIBR, there's a lot of space that's been opened up in A main, that's been close to here in red. And for Case, it just gets more and more uncomfortable on how close is this scoreline really going to get for us.
Well, Safe may concede himself to the exits. We'll call on the information that they are gamble stacking. We'll take 3 of them down. Now it's a case of Brenzin to ensure that AK again does not go the favor of the CT side, and it will not in round of 21. The buy-ups will be received regardless by them here. M4 seemingly across the board. 1 to the good.
And when you consider that this was, at one point, an 8-2 scoreline, it's crazy that we're still here. That there is actually 1 round, the difference from a tied-up scoreline. RCF is finally on the big green. This is the first time that we've seen it in his hands in the second half.
Zanny down to Snow first out here towards mid. Drops looking in the yaps, and the crossfire can lock him out of position. 5 on 3. Case again fight the early aggression, beat them out here. RCF unable to get Brenzin next. The Molotov drives him back. He tries to continue playing entries. The smokes will suppress the majority of entryways, and the plant should be secured.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to go down, though. They probably have to wait it out and get some more jewels. RCF being pushed even further from CT. They're both low HP, but they're just not being dropped. The HE does at least get away with 1.
Brenton's got to escape from contact, though. CT players would have been heard there at Donut, not seen ahead of that smoke, clearing the bomb left up at Tree. A very unorthodox position for it. Sneak in the bomb plant later on in the round with the distraction pulled out by Save. That seems to be the call as he gets the kill in, but doesn't continue the rotations. If he did, he'd run right into Urban.
And they're waiting for the CTs to start maneuvering back into the bomb site. Rather than playing passive and playing retake, they're waiting for repositions. And to get this into a 3v3 is already a massive recovery for MIBR.
We need to go that 1 step further, though. Exit and Safe. The drop-off, aware that there's movement now out towards main. Might start to read the fact that A site looks to be the take. Molotov should drive Yeps away as Ricky Holy goes down to Safe. And that kill back exit protected by the fire put out by the T-side bases. They recovered it to an even man stance and now a man advantage, and looks to go even further towards an 11 apiece scoreline. Yeps leaning closer. Safe and Exit, the 2 players to task. Safe first up outside of main. Yeps going to try and check Temple on the bomb. He taps it. Brenzin not going to look to act. Safe is baited out. Exit gives up a kill back to return. The last player left of Urban. Tapping again. Brenzin does get caught back, but it's all time stalling. There is no kit on him. Tapped again for a 3rd time, trying to get Exit for an exit frag, but he runs for it. Even taken aback by the AK. MIBR have equalized.
Well, this is a massive choke. This is a huge choke from Case. How are they not winning that round, Jay? I don't know. It's another one of these rounds. It's a 5v3. MIBR have struggled to actually maintain bomb sites when they go for these quicker maneuvers. We saw it previously with the A-take. We've now seen it again. That should not be recoverable. That round cannot be winnable for MIBR.
And that might make all the difference in the world right here. Pistol players pulled up on the pistols and the deagles. Only the half invest to go to round 24 with a buy instead. Yeps is going to have to make a miracle play to make this round viable for the Case side. It definitely feels like they're more focused on those guns. Action out towards elbow. Safe does lose his life and lose the bomb. AK does get returned by Drop, and Insanity gets Urban out towards mid. So man advantage regained by MIBR and have time to play with.
Yeah, there's not much of a threat in this round. Maybe the low HP player of Insanity, if he drops, there could be something more into it. It's whether this gamble stack can present accordingly. Now, you've got 2 players towards CT. They're seeing and hearing a lot of this util forward, but they're not getting into the bomb site. They're still playing very defensively in CT.
Smoke suppress the CT entrance, and the Molotovs will also be heard on those tags. RCF does get caught with his deagle in the end. Snow does sneak forward, drop gets him, and sprays blind onto Riccioli. Map point for MIBR, despite Case having the stellar lead at the turn of the half, extending it up to 10 at one point. One more since that point. MIBR have really grinded this one back.
I cannot believe it was 10-4, and we are now in a position where MIBR should be taking this entire best of one. The lack of tacticals have kind of caught me as well. I know MIBR have been taking quite a few, but for Case, this second half has been weak. They have not shown the closability. Now, they've had man advantages, and I would say that they've had quite a few good chances in the second half to close rounds down, but whether it's pressure or maybe inexperience of some of the players on the roster, a new in-game leader in only the last couple of months, those could be factors to why it's been a difficult showing. But for MIBR, they'll look at this and say, yeah, let's just close at 13-11. Let's make sure we don't even have to go to overtime.
A wonderfully played T side. Case have one chance on the CT basis to try and continue on here on Ancient. MIBR. AK set accordingly, Case. Initial prods towards that A-bomb site of the utility. Is not going to see any early aggressive action from MIBR. They've been punished time and again. They wait.
Yeah, MIBR have been stronger when they've run the clock. Info play aggressively out from Donut. The issue here is it takes more defenders away from A. So if it is the A walk that can come through from main, that's where a lot of defining elements of opening up the bomb sites are going to come in.
Molly flash sent. Brenzin gets the quick spray through the smoke. Once again, a blind kill on an MIBR player. And flash is sent to the back lines. The rotations are called by Case, but the execution comes into the A-bomb site. Molly's clear out the back lines. First responder is Snow. You got Yeps actually coming in from Donut here. Snow's blind spray. Nades open, exits low. The bomb carrier's seen. Yeps has made a massive play. Insanity's forced to try and bring it right back here. Flash evaded, and the bomb is in the open. 40 seconds on the clock. There's movement out at Temple and the backside. Insani baits one player to get aggressive, needs backup. Brenzin comes up good. Insani back line held. RCF in with the clutch. Brenzin in with the close. 13-11 for MIBR as they push it back past the finish line and return the comeback of Ancient.
Well, I'll put it this way. MIBR did not win this game, but Case lost this game. Even that last round, Jay, the sequence out in Donut, that should be enough. And I can't keep saying it consistently, because if I am, you're going to lose games. You're going to be in records of 3-7, 3-8 in the regular season. Case could not close rounds, and that hurt.